Just recently, Matt Walsh posted this on Twitter, and I thought it was interesting to watch. Now, I can't necessarily play the whole thing for you, and it's audio because of copyright purposes, so I'll just kind of give you the play-by-play here. So what we have is a clip from New Amsterdam, which is a doctor show, I think, on NBC. And here we have some of the cast members that are cosplaying a concerned citizen, and here they are reacting to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So I want to be sure that you understand that as you see this, they are not responding to a zombie apocalypse or the advent of a new global pandemic wiping away specifically the elderly, and definitely not kids in schools, except into a very limited fashion. But they are responding to the overturning of Roe v. Wade, so we'll play it for you here. So as you can see, we have the main character here. He's very distraught about something. We don't know what, but then he turns and looks at his daughter, sees her playing innocently, and then stares deeply into her eyes, and he just wishes that he had the opportunity to abort her. And he's just very deeply saddened by that. So saddened that the phone, he just loses the power to hold it, drops it on the ground. Then we're taken into a city street corner where people are looking at their phone, they're just getting the news, and of course we get the gratuitous cup drop with splashing coffee all over the camera. Cliche probably about 20 years ago, but I guess we can pull it back up and rehash it. And then we have just people weeping in the streets because they can't kill their baby. We have one of the doctors. Of course, we've got the lesbian couple there, just absolutely upset that, of course, it doesn't matter to them anyway, nonetheless. We have a doctor seeing all this going on. Let me fast forward a little bit here. Another father-daughter thing. Woman running down the street. She has to abort one last baby before it's too late. And then all the doctors converging in the hall, looking at the TV. And finally, the big reveal. And the big reveal is they're watching on the TV a news report that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. And all in shock. What will they do now as doctors now that they do not have the right to do harm? Now, the only thing I have to say about this, beyond the lunacy of what we just saw and how hyperbolic it is, and how Walsh kind of commented to this, and I think it's really true, is that this kind of cosplays Christian films of the past that are so on the nose and so corny and so ridiculous and so over the top. That it's a little bit interesting to see kind of like this reversal. We can only hope that Christian films get way better, and that these kind of films and modern kind of secular TV gets way worse as they become more left-leaning. But the only thing I really have to mention here is that in the absence of a strong moral voice within the realm of politics, we get this kind of stuff. This would have been laughable, if not horrifying, to us 10 years ago to see people responding this way to abortion. I mean, I'm thinking back to the days where we said we want abortion safe and rare. We don't want women, going in back alleys with coat hangers and trying to remove babies out of their wombs just because they so don't want to be pregnant that they will resort to any form of violence that they possibly can. And so they'll go into back alleys and have abortions. Now, you should know that that whole idea about back alley abortions was totally fabricated, and the Guttmacher Institute admitted to the idea that they didn't have any statistics on back alley abortions, so they just completely made them up. But pushing that aside, back in those days, we were talking about abortions for the sake of the mother and only in rare instances. And the only reason we don't want to outlaw them is so that they're safe for women. This health care supposedly needs to be safe for women. We don't really want it widespread. We just need it so that it won't be so obscure and so obtuse that it can't be safe for women. We promise we don't want to willy-nilly abort babies. And then, of course, in the present, 98% of the abortions, if not more, are done on an elective basis simply out of convenience or because of relationship issues, but not because of health of the mother, not because of rape, and not because of incest. We used to have strong voices that stood up and really declared this openly to world leaders. But unfortunately, most of our world leaders are gone that would do this kind of thing. And I want to show you a world leader doing just that, because the voice of Mother Teresa is hopefully coming back, but sorely needed at this hour. But listen to the words of this godly woman as she pleads with world leaders in a crowd to rather to adopt than to abort. So here's that.
Greatest destroyer of peace today is the cry of the innocent, unborn child. But today, millions of unborn children are being killed. And we say nothing. In the newspapers, you read numbers of this one, that one being killed, this being destroyed. But nobody speaks of the millions of little ones who have been conceived with the same life as you and I, with the life of God. And we say nothing. We allow it. To me, the nations who have legalized abortion, they are the poorest nation. They are afraid of little one. They are afraid of the unborn child. And the child must die because they don't want to feed one more child, to educate one more child. The child must die. And so today, let us here make a strong resolution. We are going to save every little child, every unborn child. Give them a chance to be born.
The reason I show you this is that our silence on these issues has created a world that we don't really recognize. That's to be expected a little bit because time changes things. One of the only things that never changes is the world changes. However, I hope we can see through it too, that when these two voices, whether it be political or religious, and the combination of the two in the great conversation is silenced, that it only spells bad. So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely need to check that out, because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.